Despite being one of the most examined cultures and nations in human history, ancient Egypt still holds many mysteries that remain unsolved to this day. It's easy to believe we've unearthed everything there is to know about this legendary civilization, but that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, some of the mysteries that continue to confound scholars today are so unsettling and unearthly that they blur the line between history and something far stranger. Let's start with Number 15. The Red Pyramid. The Red Pyramid, also called the North Pyramid, stands in the Dahshur necropolis near Cairo and is one of Egypt's oldest and largest pyramids. Built from reddish limestone blocks, it was originally coated with polished white Tura limestone, now mostly gone except for a few base sections. This monument is widely accepted as Egypt's first successful attempt at a true smooth-sided pyramid and ranks as the third largest after those of Khufu and Khafre at Giza. It was commissioned by Pharaoh Sneferu of the Old Kingdom between 2575 and 2551 BCE. Scholars still debate how long the pyramid took to construct, with estimates ranging from a decade to nearly 2 decades. The Red Pyramid's design was influenced by earlier structural failures in Sneferu's other projects, particularly the collapsed Meidum Pyramid and the Bent Pyramid. Today, the Red Pyramid is open to visitors who can climb to the elevated northern entrance and descend into its chambers, which feature corbelled ceilings soaring over 40 feet. Number 14. The Attic Mummy Head. A decapitated mummified head found in a British attic in mid-2022 has reopened a chapter of ancient Egyptian history. The head, remarkably preserved, belonged to a woman who lived over 2,000 years ago. CT scans revealed not only the preserved wrappings, but also a surprisingly intact tongue and worn teeth, suggesting a coarse diet. Despite this progress, her exact identity remains unknown. Experts believe the head was likely brought back from Egypt during the 19th century, an era when mummified remains were taken as souvenirs. During that time, it was common for Victorians to host unwrapping parties, where mummies were publicly dismantled for entertainment. Researchers now plan to extract DNA, conduct carbon dating, and digitally reconstruct the woman's face. Their goal is to better understand ancient embalming techniques, burial practices, and health conditions. The head may have traveled across centuries and continents, but soon, her face and story might be restored with the respect history never gave her. Number 13. The Khopesh. It's difficult to measure how much influence the Khopesh, Egypt's signature curved sword, had on the empire's rise, but many scholars agree it played a pivotal role. Common during the Bronze Age, the Khopesh became standard issue for Egyptian warriors due to its battlefield efficiency. Unlike straight blades, the Khopesh was perfect for hooking and disarming enemies, making it far more effective in close combat. Interestingly, the weapon wasn't Egyptian. Its earliest forms appeared in Mesopotamia over 4,500 years ago. One of the earliest depictions shows King Enetum of Lagash wielding a similar blade in the stele of the vultures. Egypt adopted and refined the design around 1500 BCE during the New Kingdom and used it with success against the invading Sea Peoples. Neighboring regions, like Canaan, lacked the weapon's edge, both literally and figuratively. That imbalance may have helped Egypt gain military dominance in the region. With its hybrid design of axe and sword, the Khopesh became a uniquely Egyptian symbol of authority, strength, and innovation. And it's just awesome. Number 12. The Golden Mask of General Wenja Bawengid. The golden funerary mask of General Wenja Bawengid, who was a top-ranking military officer during the reign of Pususins, is one of Egypt's lesser-known yet beautiful burial treasures. This mask was made from solid gold and embellished with colored glass paste to create vivid eyebrows and lifelike eyes. It covered the general's face, neck, and ears and ended at the forehead, where 6 small tongues held it in place on the mummy. Wenja Bawengid's features were intricately shaped, giving him a serene, idealized look. The nose was perfectly formed, and the narrow lips appeared slightly curved. Interestingly, the ears aren't symmetrical. The left one projects further to add a touch of realism. His tomb was founded by Pierre Montet at the royal necropolis of Tanis, and it held a wealth of precious objects like rings, amulets, bracelets, many statues, and more. Among the standout items were 3 delicate bowls made of gold and silver, a lapis lazuli figure of Amud in ram form, 4 canopic jars, and numerous Ushapti figurines positioned around the sarcophagus. The story of this general is a mystery, but the mask tells a lot. Number 11. The Proto-Lions. The Proto-Lions, aka the Soleb lions, are 2 massive red granite sculptures from ancient Egypt dating back to the 18th dynasty around 1370 BCE. Originally placed as guardians at the entrance to the Temple of Soleb in Nubia, constructed under Pharaoh Amenhotep III, the lions carry inscriptions from several different eras. These markings show they were reused by a lot of rulers. For example, King Tutankhamun had the temple restored, while his successor moved the lions. In the 3rd century BCE, Kushite king Amonislo transported them to Jebel Barkal, a southern site, and engraved his name onto the statues. In the early 1800s, Lord Prudo recovered the lions from Jebel Barkal and arranged for them to be shipped to Cairo and London. What makes them unique is their relaxed, natural pose, lying on their sides with heads turned and front paws crossed, unlike the rigid forward-facing stance typical of sphinxes. These lions don't just guard, they carry the marks, names, and ambitions of kings who know rest for eternity. Number 10. The Davis Comb. The Davis Comb dates to Egypt's Naqada III period around 3200 to 3100 BCE, predating the Old Kingdom. Believed to have been part of a burial kit for an elite individual, the comb is missing several of its teeth, but its engraved decorations remain remarkably preserved. The surface is adorned on both sides with horizontal rows of animals, a layout that would become a recurring motif in Egyptian art. Elephants, snakes, birds, giraffes, cattle, and hyenas appear in deliberate arrangements, suggesting symbolic meaning rather than random selection. The pairing of elephants and serpents may hint at early mythological associations tied to creation, a theme echoed in many African belief systems. Some scholars argue that the top row might represent a creator deity to whom all the animals below owe their existence. Though modest in size, the Davis Comb showcases the advanced skill of pre-dynastic artisans and serves as an important reference point in the evolution of symbolic and ceremonial objects in ancient Egypt. Number 9. Ramses II's Hidden Palace, unearthed in Abydos. In 2019, archaeologists working in Abydos, Egypt, uncovered a royal palace believed to belong to Ramses II, one of the most powerful pharaohs of the New Kingdom. The discovery was made by a U.S.-led team during their excavation of the pharaoh's known temple when they stumbled upon a stone-paved walkway leading to a sealed doorway. Beyond it, they found a vast structure featuring limestone walls, decorated columns, and hallways inscribed with the royal cartouche of Ramses II. The palace layout includes a large entrance chamber, corridors lined with hieroglyphs, and remnants of colored floor tiles. Interestingly, some parts of the building appear to have been started under Seti I Ramses's father, indicating the complex may have been a multi-generational royal project. The scale and design of the structure suggest it was more than just a ceremonial space. It likely served as a functioning residence or administration center. The find sheds new light on Abydos's importance not only as a sacred site but also as a royal power hub. Number 8. Tutankhamun Sip's Folding Camp Bed. Recent analysis suggests that King Tut may have owned the world's first version of a foldable camp bed. Researchers from Musashino University in Tokyo studied a miniature model found in Ghurab, Egypt, and proposed it was a prototype for a 3-part folding cot. It was discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter. This full-size bed was crafted from 4 lion-shaped wooden legs and supported by copper alloy drums that bore most of the weight. Its folding mechanism was far from basic. Artisans used cleverly engineered hinges that lightened stress on the joints. Experts believe this unusual piece reflected the young king's wishes. Though Tut had a clubfoot and required a cane, he still dreamed of hunting and camping. According to researcher Naoko Nishimoto, the bed holds poetic weight, representing what Tutankhamun longed for, even if he never experienced it. Evidence of mistakes and corrections on the frame shows that no similar bed existed before it. The artisans had nothing to copy. They were building something new just for the king. Number 7. Sekhmet statues at the Temple of Amenhotep III. A total of 27 black granite statues of Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess of war and healing, were uncovered at the mortuary temple of Amenhotep III on the west bank of Luxor. Crafted with remarkable precision, each statue depicts the goddess seated or standing, holding the ankh, the symbol of life, in her left hand. Most of the figures tower over 6 feet tall, while a few are smaller and show her seated on a throne. The use of black granite, a stone extremely difficult to carve, points to a deliberate choice, likely made for its strength and durability, and clearly, it worked. The statues remain well preserved more than 3,000 years later. The temple itself spans roughly 4 million square feet, about the size of 65 American football fields. Archaeologists believe the complex was heavily damaged in an earthquake over 3,200 years ago. With more excavations still underway, experts hope they can find something more holy. Number 6. The Yellow Scarab Brooch, from Tutankhamun's tomb. Among the many artifacts recovered from Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922 by Howard Carter, a small scarab-shaped brooch stands out for one remarkable reason: the material it's made from. At the center of the ornament lies a yellowish-brown piece of silica glass, not formed by craftsmen but by nature itself. The glass was created when a comet slammed into the Sahara Desert approximately 28 million years ago, heating sand to over 2,000 degrees Celsius and forming natural glass. Fragments of this ancient glass still scatter a 6,000 square mile region of the desert today. The polished piece in Tutankhamun's brooch shows that ancient Egyptians recognized its uniqueness and valued it enough to place it at the heart of royal jewelry. The stone's age and extraterrestrial origin raise questions about how much the Egyptians understood about its nature. Whether symbolic, scientific, or aesthetic, their use of it proves they saw it as more than just a pretty object. It was special enough to bury with a king. Number 5. Abydos Ram Cache and Old Kingdom Palace. In early 2023, archaeologists from New York University's Institute for the Study of the Ancient World uncovered more than 2,000 mummified ram heads inside the Temple of Ramses II at Abydos. Wrapped and stacked with ritual care, these Ptolemaic-era offerings show that Ramses was still venerated a full 1,000 years after his death. Mixed among the rams lay dogs, goats, and wild bulls, tracing 2 millennia of continuous worship. Beneath the animal layer, the team revealed a vast 6th Dynasty palace, its mud brick walls 5 meters thick, littered with papyrus scraps, cedar beams, leather sandals, and carved footwear once worn in royal corridors. The juxtaposition of palace and votive flock rewrites Abydos's timeline, restoring the site's landscape as it existed long before Ramses built his mortuary temple, and proving that devotion to the pharaoh evolved without interruption from the Old Kingdom to the Greco-Roman world. Number 4. The Dabus Giraffes. Deep in the barren Tenere Desert of Niger lies one of the world's most remarkable prehistoric carvings, the Dabus giraffes. First documented in 1987 by explorer Christian Dupuy, these 2 massive petroglyphs were etched into sandstone between 6,000 and 8,000 years ago, long before the rise of ancient Egypt. The largest giraffe measures a staggering 18 feet in height, making it the biggest known animal carving on Earth. In total, the site contains around 800 individual engravings, but the giraffes remain the centerpiece. The dry desert climate has preserved them in exceptional condition. What puzzles researchers is that both giraffes are shown with humans standing beside them, seemingly holding leashes, suggesting some form of domestication. This challenges long-held beliefs about human-animal relationships in prehistory. These carvings hint that ancient communities may have developed a symbolic or even practical relationship with giraffes, a concept nearly unthinkable in modern times. Why such knowledge disappeared or why it existed at all remains a complete mystery. What do you think about it? Number 3. Ramses II's royal bloodline. Ramses II is believed to have fathered between 48 and 50 sons and as many as 40 to 53 daughters, a legacy recorded on numerous ancient monuments. Unlike earlier rulers, Ramses made no distinction between the children of his two primary wives, Nefertari and Isetnofret. Their sons and daughters appear together in statues flanking the entrance of the Great Temple at Abu Simbel. Beyond these two queens, Ramses took at least 6 additional royal wives, some of whom were his own daughters, Bentenath, Meritamen Nebetowi, and Henetmire, who may also have been his sister. 2 more wives were daughters of Hattusili III, the Hittite king. Of these, only the first princess, Mathorn Neferer, and possibly Bentenath, are known to have borne him children. Lists of Ramses's offspring have been found in locations like Ramesseum, Luxor, Wadi es-Sabua, and Abydos. His sons were depicted participating in battles like Kadesh and the siege of Dapur. Now I don't know about you, but how can someone marry their own daughter? Number 2. The seated scribe. The squatting scribe is a rare statue that was found in 1850 along the Avenue of the Sphinxes leading to the Serapeum at Saqqara. It dates back to Egypt's Old Kingdom, likely during the 4th or 5th dynasty, making it over 4,400 years old. Carved from painted limestone, the statue is famous for its lifelike features, wide, attentive eyes made from rock crystal and magnesite, and wooden nipples, an odd but distinctive detail. The scribe is shown cross-legged, stylus in hand, mid-scroll. His body is realistic rather than idealized, broad-chested, soft, alert. A semicircular base suggests that it once stood on a larger plinth that may have carried the figure's name and rank. Some scholars have compared the statue's facial features to known images of the official Pahernifer, though there's no definitive match. Whether real or symbolic, the sculpture captures an era when literacy was rare and scribes held huge administrative power within the pharaoh's court. Number 1. The scent of the ancient Egyptian afterlife. A groundbreaking scientific study has revealed that artifacts from a 3,400-year-old Egyptian tomb are still releasing scents despite being untouched for millennia. Jars and vessels containing beeswax, dried fish, fruit, and possibly beer were analyzed by archaeologists and chemists using a non-invasive method. Sealed collection bags were placed over the jars to capture air samples, later studied through mass spectrometry. The project took place on-site to prevent the fragile contents from being moved or damaged. The objects are housed in the Egyptian Museum of Turin, Italy, where curators had long noticed faint odors coming from the containers. The research, published in the Journal of Archaeological Science, shows how modern scent analysis can preserve ancient material without destroying it. These jars came from the tomb of Ka and Merit, unearthed in 1906, which remains one of the most complete elite non-royal burials ever found. Among the preserved offerings were loaves of bread, meat, spices, woven baskets, textiles, and the mummified remains of Ka and his wife Merit. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.